Hello, white people. All right, I am on the InfoWars website, and my question is, how do you communicate when the government shuts down the internet? Alrighty, here's the article. How to communicate if the government shuts down the internet. Scenario: your government is displeased with the communication going on in your location and pulls the plug on your internet access, most likely by telling the major ISPs to turn off service. God, I can't believe that they can do that. Anyway, the reason why I'm doing this is because during the rally, somebody, it was probably the government, directed social media to suppress any organic searches for the gun rally, so you couldn't find anything about guns and gun rallies. And then yesterday, all of a sudden, all these gun channels start popping up in my suggestions. So they lifted that, whatever you call it, that suppression blockage. And that's just total horseshit. So we are going to figure out a way to get around the government shenanigans. You know, they're really not that smart people. There's probably one smart guy in the whole group, and then the other ones are just little zombies doing what they're told. Moving on. This is what happened in Egypt January 25th, prompted by citizen protests, with sources estimating that the Egyptian government cut off approximately 88% of the country's internet access. What do you do without internet? Step 1, stop crying in the corner. Stop it! Then start taking steps to reconnect with your network. Here's a list of things you can do to keep the communication flowing. If you have advice to add, please log in and add your comments. All right. Preventative measures. Make your network tangible. Print out your contact list so your phone numbers aren't stuck in the cloud. Some mail services like Gmail allow you to export your online contact list in formats that are more conducive to paper, such as CSV or VCard, and offer step-by-step guides on how to do this. Broadcast on the radio. CB radio, short for Citizens Band Radio. These two-way radios allow communication over short distances on 40 channels. You can pick up one for about $20 to $50 at Radio Shack, and no license is required to operate it. How many miles does it say? Dang it. Short distances. Oh, that doesn't say what that is. Damn it. Ham radio. To converse over these radios, also known as amateur radios, you have to obtain an operator's license from the FCC. Luckily, other wired how-to contributors have already explained exactly what you need to do to get one and use it like a pro. However, if the president declares a state of emergency, use of the radio could be extremely restricted or prohibited. GMRS, the General Mobile Radio Service, is a licensed land mobile FM UHF radio service in the United States, available for short-distance two-way communication. It is intended for use by an adult individual who possesses a valid GMRS license, as well as his or her immediate family members. They are more expensive than the walkie-talkies typically found in discount electronic stores, but are higher quality. Family radio service. The Family Radio Service, FRS, is an improved walkie-talkie radio system authorized in the United States since 1996. This personal radio service uses channelized frequencies in the ultra-high frequency UHF band. It does not suffer the interference effects found on Citizen Band CB at 27 MHz or the 49 MHz band, also used by cordless phones, toys, and baby monitors. Microbroadcasting. Microbroadcasting is the process of broadcasting a message to a relatively small audience. This is not to be confused with low-power broadcasting. In radio terms, it is the use of low-power transmitters to broadcast a radio signal over the space of a neighborhood or small town. Similarly to pirate radio, broadcasters generally operate without a license from the local regulation body, but sacrifice range in favor of using legal power limits. Packet radio back to the 90s. There do exist shortwave packet radio modems. These are also excruciatingly slow, but may get your email out. Like ham radio above, it requires a ham radio license because they operate on ham radio frequencies. Telephone. Set up a phone tree. According to the American Association of University Women, a phone tree is a prearranged pyramid-shaped system for activating a group of people by telephone that can spread a brief message quickly and efficiently to a large number of people. Dig out that contact list you printed out to spread the message down your pyramid of contacts. Enable Twitter via SMS. Though the thought of unleashing the Twitter fire hose in your text message inbox may seem horrifying, it would be better than not being able to connect to the outside world at all. The Twitter website has full instructions on how to redirect tweets to your phone. Call to tweet. A small team of engineers from Twitter, Google, and SayNow, a company Google acquired recently, made this idea a reality. We don't really Google Twitter. God, they're part of the government. So, I mean, this is probably just... I don't know. It's already live, and anyone can tweet by simply leaving a voicemail on one of these international phone numbers. We'll skip over that. And the service will instantly tweet the message using the hashtag Egypt. Hashtag Egypt. No internet connection is required. People can listen to the message by dialing the same phone numbers or going to the Twitter account Speak to Tweet. Alex Jones and Infowars.com have a telephone number for people to listen to his radio show by phone in case the internet goes down. Or if you don't have internet, the phone in listen line is 512-646-5000. Gosh, I wonder how that works. Have a radio... People can listen into his radio show by phone. How do you do that? It's like a long recording, huh? Fax. If you need to quickly send and receive documents with lengthy or complex instructions, phone conversations may result in misunderstandings, and delivering the document by foot would take forever. Brush the dust off that bulky old machine. Establish a connection by phone first with the recipient to make sure his machine is hooked up, then fax away. You may not need a fax machine or send or receive faxes if your computer has a Dialup fax application. Non-virtual bulletin board. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in the virtual world that we forget about resources available in the real world. Physical bulletin boards have been used for centuries to disseminate information and don't require electricity to function. If you are fortunate enough to be getting information from some other source, why not share it with your friends and neighbors with your own bulletin board? Cork, magnetic, and marker bulletin boards are as close as your nearest dime store and can be mounted just about anywhere. And if push comes to shove, you can easily make your own with scrap wood lying around the house. Get back online. While it might be relatively easy for a government to cut connections by leveraging the major ISPs, there are some places they wouldn't get to so readily, like privately owned networks and independent ISPs. Ooh, privately owned networks and independent ISPs. Find the privately run ISPs. In densely populated areas, especially in central business districts and city suburbs, there are multiple home Wi-Fi networks overlapping each other. Some secure, some not. If there is no internet, open up your Wi-Fi by removing password protection. If enough people do this, it's feasible to create a totally private Wi-Fi service outside of government control covering the CBD. Okay, I can't wrap my brain around that. I probably have to give that some time to roll around in my head. And you can use applications that run Bonjour, iChat on Mac, for example, to communicate with others on the open network and send and receive documents. Needs more clarification. Where do we see it? Okay. If you are a private ISP, it's your time to shine. Consider allowing open access to your Wi-Fi routers to facilitate communication of people around you until the grid is back online. Return to dial-up. According to an article in the BBC about Old Tech's role in the Egyptian protests, dial-up modems are one of the most popular routes for Egyptians to get back online. Huh. Long lists of international numbers that connect to dial-up modems are circulating in Egypt thanks to net activists. We Rebuild Telecomics and others. Dial-up can be slow. Often there is a lightweight mobile version of a site that you can load from your desktop browser quickly despite the limitations of dial-up. Let's see here. There is a lightweight mobile version of a site you can load from your desktop, okay? Ad hoc networking. Most wireless routers, PCs, laptops, and even some ultra-mobile devices like cell phones have the ability to become part of an ad hoc network where different nodes, all of the devices on the network, share the responsibility of transmitting data with one another. These networks can become quite large and are often easy to set up. If used properly by a tech-savvy person, such networks can be used to host temporary websites and chat rooms. There are many internet tutorials on the internet for ad hoc networking, so feel free to Google some. Apple computers tend to have very accessible ad hoc functionality built in, including a pre-installed chat client, iChat, that will automatically set up an ad hoc rendezvous chat room among anybody in the network without the need for an external service like AIM or Skype. Ad hoc networking hosting functionality is built in the Wi-Fi menu. Oh my gosh, I've got a Mac. I don't even know how that works. Oh, my brains. Windows computers have several third-party ad hoc chat applications available, such as Trillion, and set up an ad hoc Wi-Fi network is almost as simple as on a Mac. You know, back in the good old days, early days of the internet when we had AOL, we used to have these really fun chat rooms that we could go into and we could talk to people in real time. It was just wonderful. I miss those. That's what we have, like like live streaming, and we have the chat section. You could say anything and you never got blocked. Anyway, Linux operating systems, of course, have plenty of third-party apps available, and most distros have ad hoc network creation support built in. Build large bridged wireless network. Using popular wireless access point devices such as a Linksys WRT54G, you can create a huge wireless bridge network. You can create a huge wireless bridge network, effectively creating a local area network, LAN, or a private internet that can be utilized by all users within range using a Wi-Fi enabled device. You can also link multiple devices together wirelessly, extending the range of your network. Most access points will cover a 100-meter area. If your wireless device is built to support the 802.11n wireless standard, you will get almost a 500-meter coverage area for each access point. 500 meters? How many feet is that? 2.2 feet per mile? To build a wireless bridge, check out the DDWRT wiki and learn how to configure Linksys WRT54G as a wireless client using this AnandTech thread. Nintendo DS. A used DS family device can be purchased inexpensively in addition to Wi-Fi. The DS supports its own wireless protocols. Ooh. Using PictoChat, it is possible to chat with nearby DS users without having any DS games. Unfortunately, the range is quite short. Some games, such as the 4th generation Pokemon games, support mail items, thus you can send your message under the guise of just playing a game. Mail items can be sent through the internet if you can get on the net, and you and your partners have each other's friend codes. The original DS and the DS Lite do support the Opera web browser, but finding the game card and memory pack may be difficult, very difficult. Starting with the DSi Opera is downloadable. Intranet. Your computer has the ability to set up your own intranet. This was done before the internet was popularized in 2 ways. Your computer dialed up other computers and sent them the contents of a message board, or local people dialed into your computer. A nationwide system can be set up this way, with a central location sending to many cities, then each city sending out the information locally. Become untraceable. Now, this is really important. If you're going to post government secrets on your workaround site, you may want to set up an untraceable account. Really, you only need a mail drop, an assumed name, a prepaid credit card you can get at many stores to set up a service. Get satellite access. You can have very, very slow internet if you have something similar to an Iridium phone, which would allow you to do dial-up at 2400 baud, which at least gives you email. This will also work when the government has shut down GSM and telephone access, and will work pretty much anywhere on the planet. If you're in the right place, get yourself KA-SAT access, which is satellite broadband, and will not be routed through any internet exchange that certain local governments may monitor or block unless that government is part of the EU or Uncle Sam. Dang it. That excludes us. Stock up with fresh food that lasts with eFoods dry. Oh, that's an ad. Back to basics. Make some noise. Have an air horn or other loud instrument handy. It may just come down to being able to alert people in your local geographic area who would otherwise be unaware of an emergency. You may also want to learn a bit about Morse code and have a cheat sheet available. All right, let's see here. Well, thank you, InfoWars, for all that. You know, anybody can access this website. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I'm extremely pissed off that the government decided to suppress us, keep us from watching a live stream rally going on in Virginia. That's just total bullshit. And these bastards, once the fighting breaks out, they're going to shut down our communications. And even though all of us don't want to be involved in any sort of physical conflict, we want news. We want to know what's going on. And the folks who are going to start the conflict or be involved in the conflict, I bet you they're people who are very experienced at fighting in wars and have an elaborate communication network set up. So we're not sophisticated. We just want information. We want to be able to exchange information so we don't feel like we're in the dark. So that is one of my goals for 2020, is to set up a communication system with my internet subscribers, or even if you're not an internet subscriber. I want to be able to just be a source of information. I got to really think about how I'm going to do that. If anybody has any ideas, feel free to post on here or email me. My email is a Gmail, or if you have some links or whatever. I do have a Proton Mail account, but I don't remember what it is because I never access it. All right, internet friends. All right, white people. That's it for now. Thanks so much for watching.